Hi everybody, I'm Angelika Simpson from Stardust Express. I'm so happy and excited to be hosting this regular show on Tuesday evenings, where I will be sharing my knowledge and interest in alternative medicine, archaeology, my interest in where we as a species come from, for how long we might have been on this planet, and what is our real history. I'll be inviting some of the most inspiring people in my life to join me over the coming weeks. I will be sharing with you weird and wonderful information about our origin, about star constellations that influence us, to open your mind and your perception of our world. I intend to give you information that is not easy to get elsewhere, looking again at the things going on around us. A lot of interesting mix that will open your mind. My show is about truth issues, mysteries, new physics, consciousness, metaphysics, health, spirituality, science, music, sacred sites, psychology. Tonight, I'll be talking a little bit about myself, my path to and along psychotherapy, alternative medicine, and vision therapy, and how this is all related to my interest in digging up the past through archaeology. My professional background is that of a psychotherapist and counselor with a holistic perspective. I think I was born into that role early on. I had deep-seated affinity with human emotions. I remember that when I was about 8 to 10 years of age, parents of some of my classmates came to my parents asking if I could go with them to stay the night with their child, who was very upset because maybe the grandmother had died, or the beloved dog, for example. I know that I did not do anything in particular. I remember just staying the night with my classmate in his or her bedroom. Peacefully sleeping. The next morning, the child was all right. All the upset and shock about their loss was gone. At the age of 4, I decided that I want to repair children when I grew up. And this is what I have done all my adult life. I believe that deep down we are all children, often just pretending that we are so grown up. I draw from an integrated range of psychologically grounded framework, philosophies and techniques such as person-centered psychotherapy, Jungian analysis, transpersonal approach, and of course the person's dreams. I have learned how to help other people lead better lives through the lessons I have learned by living my own. I conduct my sessions with love, humor, belief, and profound understanding. Over the years, my interest in medicine was growing. I went the alternative way by learning acupuncture, Chinese medicine, and kinesiology. which helps my patients who come to see me for psychotherapy. Emotional states often create physical illness. An early severe vision problem led me in my adult years to learn about the Bates method, which helps people to improve their eyesight as well as their eye health. What I learned here about the human condition and the various side problems was that vision is often based on emotions as well. I could help my patients in psychotherapy with their vision problems. Their outer vision improved, so did their inner perception of themselves and the world around them. And to give you an example of what I'm really talking about, if somebody is short-sighted, it often develops in childhood at the age of 9, between 9 to 12, when school, the demands are increasing and a lot of pressure from the school as well as from parents and the family. And it is based on fear. From what I have researched in my whole experience, short-sightedness is definitely based on fear because you don't really want to see what's out there. It's a bit frightening, so you prefer it to be in a blur. So everything close up is fine, you can deal with this. Farsightedness, for example, are people who can't see close up but have very keen vision far away. These are people who do not want to deal with anything close to them, with their own emotions, with their own problems. They put it out there. They are ideally town planners and visionaries, and these are people farsighted. So I found over the years so much to learn about how human beings are functioning in this world, and the eyes are expressing what we think and what we feel. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating subject. And what I have integrated as well and learned from other people who do this kind of work, a lot of new brain functioning, has been discovered in neurophysiology, in whole brain chemistry, and how you can improve brain functioning and at the same time improve vision. This is really fascinating. So I try to combine it all. And it works very well. It helped my own vision. That's how I came to do it. I had a lot of vision problems myself. And and early severe vision problems led me in my adult years to learn about this method. And I improved everything. So I thought, this is good. I need to learn this. I need to help other people in similar situations. I believe that it is important to learn how to be authentic, to know oneself, to be in perfect conscious to be in perfect conscious vibration as a key to living a life of joy, happiness, and contentment, a life that is in balance. There's a strong connection from everything I have just said about myself to archaeology. All of my professional activities involve digging for the origin, digging for the cause of the problem. And this is an interesting thing as well that I developed in early childhood. I've grown up close to the North Sea. and we spent summers very often close to the sea on the beach. And the children I was playing with, they were always building these sand castles and cities and were always very active. And I was always digging. I was interested, was lying under the sand. And so I think I developed that very early on there already. So I think for today is enough what I've told about myself. And I want to start tonight with giving you two weird and wonderful stories that I find interesting and which have to do with digging up the past. Recently on the internet there were lots of stories coming up about giants, about skeletons being found of giants, graves being dug up of giants and so on. And it's slowly becoming more and more mainstream. And there was a story recently about Egypt. They found a giant sarcophagus, 30 ton, sealed, completely sealed, and black granite. The length of this sarcophagus was 2.7 meters, and it was unopened since closed in antiquity. The building site where they found it is close to Alexandria in Egypt. It's the largest sarcophagus ever found in Alexandria. We are told that it dates back to the late Ptolemaic period, around 300 BC. So people were wondering who might be inside. Next to the sarcophagus, an alabaster head was found, which is Greco-Roman in style. The coffin is different from the alabaster head, so it might have been reused in the Ptolemaic area. They have opened the sarcophagus and found 3 decomposed mummies, which they have been taken out of the stone coffin, which was filled with sewage water. An Egyptian antiquities official said that none of the 3 mummies belonged to the Ptolemaic period. No silver amulets or similar objects were found inside the coffin. The sarcophagus has been opened, but we have not been hit by a curse. That's what they said, as many people were worried about. Preliminary examination suggests that the skeletons belong to 3 army officers. The skeletons and the coffin have been removed to Alexandria's National Restoration Museum, where the remains will be examined to identify the cause of death and the historical area. People originally thought Alexander the Great or maybe Cleopatra were hiding inside. In similar found sarcophagus, there was never a royal burial. If the skeletons were in fact soldiers, the guess is they were Roman soldiers. I find the whole story very mysterious, because why would somebody create such a massive sarcophagus and go to such an effort to bury 3 Roman soldiers? I find this very unbelievable in a way. And the interesting link to me talking about giants before is because of the length, 2.7 meters. archaeologists thought there might be a giant being buried inside. So obviously not. There's another story. It came in April, I think. I found it on the internet, on YouTube. It's again weird and wonderful, and it might be a complete hoax. But even if so, it's a very, very interesting story. Russian scientists claim a woman discovered in a perfect marble casket is 800 million years old. This story came about in 1969, so it's quite old. During the stripping work at a coal mine in the core coal seam, which lies at a depth of over 70 meters, a marble casket of amazingly accurate manufacture was discovered. The casket was brought to the surface and works began to open it by pecking on the edges of the fossilized putty. The sun soon melted the putty into a clear liquid. The coffin was filled to the brim with pink-blue crystal clear liquid. In it lay a slim, unusually beautiful woman who looked about 30 years of age, with fine European features and large, wide-open blue eyes. She had curls and soft white hands with short, neatly cropped nails. She was dressed in a white lace transparent dress. It seemed that she was not dead, but sleeping. At her head was a black rectangular black block that looked like a cell phone. The whole village came to see this wonder. However, in less than 24 hours, the mysterious finding was reported to the district center, the fire brigade, the military and militia. They all confirmed the discovery. A helicopter appeared and the whole area was declared contagious. The authorities wanted to take away the coffin, but because it was too heavy, they pumped the fluid out of the coffin. Soon the corpse began to blacken in front of their eyes. So then the liquid was put back in and blackness quickly disappeared and the corpse regained its lifelike appearance. Another helicopter appeared to take the coffin away. 5 days later, a professor from Novosibirsk came to report on the preliminary results of their laboratory findings. The professor said that this discovery would turn their very understanding of history upside down. The scientific world would be plunged into shock. The age of the burial, according to the professor, was at least 800 million years. The woman was older than the coal, having been buried as the coal formed around her coffin. So it boils down to these two alternatives. Either man was on Earth earlier than the coal age, claimed variously to be 65 to 800 million years ago, or coal was not found as early as 65 to 800 million years ago, but much more recently, during the recent age of man. Either way, the evolution on theory is in trouble. Genetic analysis of the woman's body showed uniformity of modern man. We are the same today as our ancestors 800 million years ago. Scientific analysis cannot determine the nature of her dress. Also, the equipment to produce such material does not exist today. It has not been possible to identify the composition of the blue liquid, but only some of its components, which includes varieties of onions and garlic. The professor said only that they do not understand the metal box and that it is being studied. The civilization where this woman came from was probably far more advanced than ours. The villagers were silenced by the military who surrounded their area, and the police went from house to house, removing members of the village. The place where they found the tomb was carefully filled with earth. The 7 original coffin witnesses died in mysterious circumstances within the same year. In 1973, close to the discovery site, large-scale excavations were conducted in secret. The site was surrounded by soldiers and police. I have no idea if this story is authentic, if there's any truth in it at all. But even so, it's a fantastic story, and who knows? It could be the truth. We don't know. I certainly don't. So this is one example of what I find really interesting and what could open our mind. There's so much going on, particularly about the age of humanity and time of our life on this planet. We don't really know, and I do not think that we are being told the truth in our history lessons or even at university. Science has got fixed ideas about human origin, therefore we don't hear about these things. Everything is suppressed because it doesn't fit the standard paradigm. In Vedic archaeology, human presence goes back 2 billion years. I mean, that's quite a lot of time. For example, in Russia, in deep coal mines, they have found imprint of a chariot wheel, which it must be about 300 to 360 million years old. And that, I saw a photograph, if it's true. I saw a photograph that really looked like the chariot wheels in the old Roman films, like Ben-Hur or something. It was really, really fascinating. In South Africa, they find a lot of things which they dated back to the 3 billion years, and they found spheres which obviously are man-made. They are not natural occurrences. And there's in Russia, they found what is about 300 million years old. They found a piece of aluminium machinery found in Russia. So it looks like a piece of machinery. It's made of 98% aluminum and 2% magnesium. And it's definitely artificially made. You could use it for machines in our time now. The question is that they ask, it's very interesting, they ask who has produced this piece of metal? Aliens or time travelers? Again, it's interesting questions. In I can't remember where it has been. Again, in a coal mine, they found a bell, which must be, because the coal is so old, must be about 300 million years old, made of a mix of different metals, and it has a statue on top that serves as a handle to swing the bell. And this figure looks like an ancient deity. It looks like as if it has been found in an Egyptian tomb. Very similar to that. And the interesting bit is that when you ring the bell, it rings normally, like it has just been produced. It's unbelievable. In Oklahoma, they found something interesting. Again, in a coal mine, they found a brick wall, very old, 320 million years old. And it's perfectly done, smooth and polished, like a normal, ordinary brick wall. In Germany, in a cave, they found a figure of a lion man, looks like a lion, is a man, 40,000 years old. And it's carved so intricately. It's looks again like something from Egypt, like you would find there. There's another story in Australia. They found a 250 million year old microchip embedded in a pebble. And they found this pebble due to earth changes. There were earthquakes and hurricanes, and so the pebble came up. And when they looked at they got some computer experts in to verify that this is a real microchip. And they said yes, they researched it all and they checked it out, and they found it still processing data and sending it somewhere. So that's it's a fascinating stuff. Coming back to giants who have been on this planet, and some say they lived at the same time like dinosaurs, the same kind of age. There's a researcher from Austria called Klaus Donner, and I follow his work very closely because I find it fascinating, and I find him very seriously devoting his time to finding these artifacts and making sense of it all. And he spent some time in Ecuador and found giants or skeletons of giants. They were 7.5 meter tall. They found the bones of them, and they found tools. And these tools were about 5 times larger than normally found. These things were about 140 million years old. What they found as well, same age, 140 million years old, were a petrified banana, avocados, cocoa beans, and human bones together. So they must have cultivated plants, fruits and vegetables. 140 million years ago. So, and that, according to the history we learn and we are being taught, that was before dinosaurs should have existed. And again, within the time frame of 140 million years ago, they found petrified bones of animals. They are completely, we have no idea what these animals, what kind of animals. We don't know at all what they are. And these animal bones have engravings which are definitely man-made. They found these things not only in Ecuador, but they found them in Colombia as well. And in Java, they found an enormous metal disc made of iron, and which is currently unexplainable. It was meticulously destroyed on the way to the museum, and it was so large that a crane and transport lorry was needed. And now, because it has been destroyed, nobody can know who made it. What did they use it for? How did they make it? So these are facts that we never know. And I intend to invite people into my show who have done some work on these kind of archaeological finds, working in what they call forbidden archaeology. And I would find it very interesting. They have been in the area, have done some own research and come up with interesting things. I'm really looking forward to that. And I want to invite interesting people who are in my life, who I find very inspiring, who have lots of things to talk about and to tell people, to open their minds so that people can learn and develop and start thinking and to contribute to some kind of better world, to focus on what's really important in life. And I don't think we have much time left on this planet, so things seem to be quite urgent. And I would like to contribute to that, to a better planet, if possible. What I would like to do, I would like to invite you just for a moment to be still in your mind. I want to do some kind of exercise that would help your eyes to calm down. It would help your mind to calm down as well, and would be really, really a nice thing to do. So I would invite you to join me. I tell you exactly what we do. So first you take your hands, rubbing them together, make them really, really warm. If you wear glasses, take your glasses off. If you wear contact lenses, okay, that's fine, leave it. So, and then you have your hands like this, fingers crossed. And you put your crossed hands over the bridge of your nose like I do here. The eyes are closed and you rest in your hands. Make sure that you can support your elbows somewhere on a table or on your knees. Make sure that you're sitting comfortable. And with your eyes closed and the hands over your eyes so that no light can enter, I am asking you to check out what you can see. You would suspect it must be black because no light can enter. But the question is it? What can you really see? You might see some specks floating around. You might get a sense of movement. Just give you a moment just to experience that. And stay the way you are. Leave your eyes closed, have your hands over your eyes. And I want to ask you if you get a sense of space. If you get a sense of space in front of you, to your side, just be aware of whatever's happening. And be aware of changes in color, whatever is happening within the darkness. And now, come back to yourself, focus on where you're sitting. Leave your eyes closed, but slowly remove your hands from your face. Leave your eyes closed all the time and sit back comfortably in your chair. Now I want you all to think of Pinocchio. The significance of Pinocchio was he had a nose that was growing depending on how many lies he was telling. So I want you all to imagine you have got such a nose. This grows into the room. And leave your eyes closed all the time. But with your nose, slowly draw a few circles into the air. Just a few. And now let the circle turn into an apple and draw the apple and give it all the colors you like in an apple. Never open your eyes, always leave your eyes closed, please. When you have finished drawing the apple, then just stop, but leave your eyes closed. The next thing I want you to do is to draw a triangle with your nose again, of course. And now let the triangle turn into a house and sketch the house. And again, stop when you have finished, but don't open your eyes. The last thing I want you to do now is to let your nose draw a square into the air. And let the square turn into a cube and draw the cube. And now, when you have done all of this, slowly open your eyes. And just look around and feel how it feels. Your eyes might feel a bit more moist, not so dry, not so achy. You might have some sensations around the eye area. Depends. And I hope you have enjoyed this little exercise. And I hope you were able to see the colors in the apple, to draw the house, and to draw the cube, which is a three-dimensional object in space, which is not so easy to do. And I feel for today I have done the introduction. I have talked about what my channel is all about, and I hope you will all join me next week. I will be here, as I said before, Tuesday evenings. Please email, please let me know what you're thinking, some ideas I can pick up on, and well, I'm looking forward to next Tuesday and to see you all again. Thank you. Bye.
Humanity has been on an epic journey of discovery, learning the truth about the world we live in. New discoveries about the true origins of humanity, ancient history, free energy, as well as the systematic corruption of world governments are now on the forefront of our daily reality. Is the world headed towards destruction based on control and power? Or is an opportunity now being presented to shift and uplift into a higher consciousness? My name is Mel V, co-founder and creative director of Conscious Consumer Network, an independent broadcast network that was launched on the 1st of January 2015. In the last 3 years, Conscious Consumer Network has broadcast over 2,800 shows in multiple languages, featuring guests from across the world, whilst creating media that is aimed at the creation of a free, fair, peaceful, just, sustainable world. Conscious Consumer Network provides full training and an interactive support network for all broadcasters, and we are always looking for inspiring and educational content.
Hi, this is Lainey Liberty.
And this is Miro Siegel.
In 2018, Conscious Consumer Network has expanded to multiple broadcast locations, increasing our availability and reach across the world, remaining on the cutting edge of independent media. If we wish to create a better world, we must first create better media, geared towards real education instead of indoctrination.
You guys really are what changing the world is going to be about. It's educating kids at a grassroots level.
Having become a pillar of stability in the turbulent world of independent media, we have even more going on in 2018. Conscious Consumer Network is a publicly funded network, and we rely on all of you to keep us on the air. Show your support for independent media by donating to our 2018 Network Support Fund. Dare to seek a better world. Support independent media.